this technology is not a new technology. It's essentially a passive seismic technique. So it images the subsurface through sound waves essentially and gives you a velocity model. And with Fleet Space, they have their own dedicated network of satellites. So it's real-time data collection.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. Joining me now is Sean Hilliker. He is the Vice President of Exploration for Standard Uranium. And Sean, good to see you again. How are you?
Doing well, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so the company out with news today talking about a partnership that you've signed with Fleet Space Technologies Canada. So this is an interesting one. Tell me a little bit about this one. This is going to be utilized on Davidson River, right?
That's right, Steve. So we're finally getting back to Davidson River this year. We're really excited about it. With Fleet Space, we've been building this relationship with them over the last, 4 to 6 months. They've got a pretty exceptional team there. They've been pretty popular subject in the Athabasca Basin. They're using their ambient noise tomography technique, and been applying that to uranium in the basin, which is kind of a new deal with this technology. So we've been working closely with them and really happy to announce that, yeah, they're now invested in Standard and, believe in Davidson River like we do and the discovery potential there. So we're really excited to push it forward together.
Yeah, maybe Sean, you can sort of explain to everyone about the technology and how it works, because that's the key part of this is how it sort of looks at exactly what you're trying to find.
Yeah, that's right. So, we've been exploring Davidson River for a number of years. The company was built around that project. It's our flagship project for a reason. We're in the southwest corner of the Athabasca Basin, right next door to NextGen Energy, Paladin Energy, F3 Uranium, and Orano, big players in the game. Lots of really good discoveries, some of the highest grade discoveries that have been made in the last decade or more. So we really believe in this project, and we've been exploring it for, like I said, a number of years since the company went public back in 2020. And we've been looking at, the results we've seen so far, which are really encouraging. We've got the right rock types, the right structures to find the next Arrow type discovery. So we've been looking at what else we could throw at this thing to really help us vector in and use every dollar as best we can and find the best targets to get back there and start drilling it again. So partnering with Fleet, like I said, this technology is not a new technology. It's essentially a passive seismic technique. So it images the subsurface through sound waves essentially and gives you a velocity model. And with Fleet Space, they have their own dedicated network of satellites. So it's real-time data collection, and that model is built in real time. So that's pretty cool. But not only that, Steve, the big kicker here is that we're doing their new multi-physics survey. So not only are we doing the ANT survey, but we're simultaneously collecting ground gravity data. So what we can do is actually use the ANT data and that velocity model to actually correct for the terrain and the cover sequences on the project to really image the density anomalies in the basement. So, at NextGen, that's how we found Arrow. It's essentially a big gravity, a density low, and this EM conductor that's broken. In simple terms, that's kind of what we're looking for. And now doing this survey is going to allow us to actually image the basement rock and find those density low anomalies that look like Arrow, and that'll help point us in the right direction for drilling this summer following the survey.
Yeah, so that survey is going to happen in the spring. You're going to concentrate on Warrior, Bronco, and Thunderbird. Those are obviously the three most promising targets, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's four main conductors on the project. The three that you named, Warrior, Bronco, and Thunderbird. There's also the Saint Trend, but we're targeting these surveys based on our best results to date.
Yeah.
And so with our initial three survey grids, we're going to focus on those three. Yeah.
All right. Look forward to hearing more about it as it gets underway. Maybe we'll get something from site as well. Sean, thanks so much. Good update and good to talk to you as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. Look forward to more news on drilling Davidson this summer.
All right. Look forward to that. Sean Hilliker, Vice President of Exploration for Standard Uranium.